What's that word? What's that word, family? Hey, man, check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. Ears to the streets, ears to the streets. It's your homeboy, Low from the Go. I'm back with another episode of Fast and Furious Interviews. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we got a very special guest in the building. I would like to bring this young man onto the screen, and I want him to tell us where you from and what you do, my brother.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy DJ Phresh Pharaoh, fresh with the PH Pharaoh like the Egyptians, coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. Man, appreciate you for having me on the show. I am America's most lit DJ. Catch me at a party near you, managing some of the hottest artists in the country, and you haven't even heard of them yet, but you will soon. It's your boy. I'm the plug from here to there. Thanks for having me, man.
Somebody actually sent me your information and said, hey, I want you to interview my homeboy. He's done a lot of interesting things. So can you tell, you've been DJing for around 8 years now, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about your DJ experiences, bro.
Man, I came up, I don't know how most DJs come up, but let me tell you this. I came up in a crazy way. I was an underground party promoter, and then one day a DJ didn't show up. And, you know, backstory on me, I love music. I've always been building playlists of music. You know, I was a band nerd, all that stuff. But that DJ didn't show up that day. And on that very day, I became a DJ because I had to step up and save my own party because I was about to lose that money. And, you know, the party went great. No one left. And from there, I was like, man, A, is this not only ever going to happen to me again, I'm going to be prepared, but B, like, that was fun. And so fast forward, man, through a lot of parties, built a few model teams on the way, 2 to be exact, and, you know, toured with them, ran into some artists, was fortunate enough to work with an artist that got signed at 1017. And, you know, that definitely blew me up. But I went on some tours on my own, too. It's been a crazy ride in this DJ game.
All right, so you had an artist that was signed to 1017, Brick Squad?
Yes, sir. So my homegirl, Kay Shade, shout out Kay. She did get signed to 1017 Brick Squad, and you know, that was a dope experience. Just to be connected to an artist that made it to that level, just to be connected to someone who signed a Gucci Mane, and then to also be in Atlanta at the same time. So that was, you know, definitely a dope thing to be able to just tack on to my resume, even though shout out to Kay, because that was all hard work on her part, you know, just becoming that artist and getting recognized. For all the people who have never been to Seattle before, let me tell you, that is America's best kept secret. Yes, it rains sometimes, but dog, during the summer, 2 to 3 months, literally the most beautiful place you've ever been. Beautiful scenery, beautiful music, beautiful people, if you know what I mean. Beautiful plants, greenery. If you like to smoke, man, it's legal. Seattle's a great place. You gotta go, and it's like a new country at that.
So you said if you like to smoke, it's legal, man. Tell us a little bit about that. Have you what's your weirdest encounter about, you know what I'm saying, smoking weed?
Best encounter is there's this thing called Hemp Fest out in Seattle. Okay, it's a big festival. They do it every single year. Big weed celebration. You know, hundreds of thousands of people come down to the city. They get to park right on the water, and it's just a good time. You know, it's a bunch of people out there smoking weed, having a great time. I DJ'd a concert. I DJ'd a set at Hemp Fest. And got to go backstage and hang out with the weed girls. And I really can't give too many details about what went on backstage. You know, a gentleman never kisses and tell. All I can say is they don't call me cakes clapping for nothing. I had a fantastic time. Smoked a blunt probably like this big, as big as my face. I got to find the video. I'll send it to you. But that's the craziest. I mean, if you ever saw more than 28 grams rolled up in one, I think it was like 60 grams rolled up in one big blunt, and they're like passing it around. Like that's probably the craziest time. And then, you know, DJing at that thing too, man. One of my homeboys, shout out to my homeboy Carlando, you know, he said the realest thing. He said, you know, COVID shut down everyone who was fake and promoted everyone who was real. You know, if you was faking it to make it, if you didn't really have the venues, if you didn't really have the pull, if you didn't really have the bag, you know, COVID exposed you. It made you sit down and go pack it. And nothing wrong with that. But, you know, those who had it and who was really working it in the brand, like, COVID blew us up. So, like, for me, I started renting out Airbnbs, and just to put it out there, I didn't catch COVID. We were safe. We didn't just go crazy. But I started renting out Airbnbs, and I changed my business model. I started inviting individual rappers and models and started, you know, getting them to put in and getting these huge mansions and creating content that way. So that's what I mean. Like, yeah, COVID shut down the party for a second, but hey, Atlanta's still popping it. But out in Seattle, you just had to change up your hustle. That's all. Expose the hustlers and the fakes. That's all. Shout out to Airbnb because y'all didn't know, but you was providing your boy with all kinds of plugs out there in Seattle. Um, Mansion parties. So yeah, even before COVID hit, I used to rent out Airbnbs, and I actually had a house called the Hot Girl House where I threw house parties in Seattle. I had 2 bars, stripper poles, all kinds of crazy stuff. I got to show you some videos of that too. Um, but yeah, man, we used to rent out these mansions, and I would just start hitting up rappers in my Rolodex. You know what I mean? Hey, who wants to come shoot a music video? Start hitting up videographers. Hey, who wants to come and get this work? It was really about community. It sounds dope, renting out mansions, and it was. It was crazy fun. Y'all go check out the TV episode about it. But it was really about community. Getting some of the top models and Instagram girls, some of the top rappers, some of the top videographers all in one place at one time for one weekend. Going and buying bottles, buying food, stocking the house, and just going crazy. Houses with pools, houses with jacuzzis. I rented one that had horses in the back, like horses. Did I ride a horse? Heck no. I was too lit. We were all too lit for that. Thank God, they kept us away from the horses, but they were nice to look at in the background. I think some of the girls took pictures with them. But just about experiences and setting up different looks. Like that's what COVID helped us do, and that's what the mansion parties was all about. And like I said, building that community. Shout out to my city. Shout out to my state. It's not even just Seattle. Shout out to my state, Washington. Shout out Tacoma. Shout out Bellevue. Shout out Seattle. Shout out Everett. Shout out my boys in Bellingham, Tri-Cities, Spokane. Washington, if you know me, I got you. I'm not gonna forget not a single narrow one of y'all. Shout out Everett, everybody, Boston in between. I touched a lot of hands. I'm someone who threw 2 and 3 parties every single weekend out in Washington, spanning over 150, 200 miles. Like I really was getting in my footwork. And I really don't turn my nose up to any artist who, wants advice or wants to work with me in one way, shape, or another. I try to make it happen as best as I can. So that's what I mean by influencer. There's a lot of people out there who got 100,000, views or followers, and they might get 10,000 views on their video. But if they try to sell something, if they want to do something, man, they don't have no real support. I got real support, real people. I can really, by myself, rent a venue, call the club, and have 300 people show up and party just for me, just for us, that's what I mean by influence.
So tell me a little bit about your business venture, bro.
Man, okay. So At Last Event is my company. I've been all over the place over the past 7 years. We kind of talked about that. I also worked for some PR firms. Some top PR firms. I worked for Microsoft. I've been in corporate America and in these streets, as they say. But really just put in the footwork, trying to work with artists and build brands that way. So my company is all about bringing that corporate expertise and that corporate look that I was able to get, and bringing that real know-how of how to get a brand out there into the streets with the real people touching hands, and merging those two things together. And on top of that, taking Seattle, if you haven't caught it by now, I love Seattle. Taking Seattle and artists from Washington State and everything that's so great about that place that people don't know, and building a bridge and putting it out to the rest of the world. That's really what my company is about, because there's all kinds of labels out there. There's a million of them, but that's what makes mine special. Specifically, we're about that. I don't believe in just going after artists right when they're about to blow. That's the cheat code. And anyway, I don't work for Atlantic Records, so that I can't do that. I definitely develop my artists. Everybody that I've worked with, not only did I develop, but they helped develop me. Shout out to the first artist I worked with, Moose. I wouldn't be the DJ I was today if I didn't work with him. A lot of my DJ voice confidence came from working with him and developing how to even work with the artist and how to be in the studio and how to be a benefit. Like I said, I'm someone who's really put in the footwork. I've been in the studio hours and hours and hours. I recorded my own EPs. So when it comes to listening to my artist's music and trying to get the best product out and making sure that they're getting that real feel and emotion, and then on top of that, the real talent and penmanship is getting out into the song too, I'm hands-on at every step of the process. I truly believe in building that brand, and that's how you get the most out of the artist anyway. So many artists are here today and gone tomorrow. These 360 artists that these labels sign, because they don't get developed. They just find them right before right after they hit a hit song. They find a songwriter, write a few more hit songs for them. Once the brand dies out, shoot, they're on to the next one. That's not my model. I'm here for 11, 10, 12 years. How long can we make this thing go? Crazy story time. I got to tell y'all a story about my crazy ass ex. So she'll remain nameless because, I'm a gentleman. I never kiss and tell. I don't want to put her out on blast. She's living her life. And all in all, she a cool girl, but that's the last thing I'm gonna say about that. So, story time. DJ Phresh used to date. Yes, I talk about myself in the third person. DJ Phresh used to have a model squad called the Hot Girl Squad, and I dated two of the girls. I still date one of them. Shout out to my King Osh. I love you. But at the time, I was dating another one, and you know, the girl King Osh. And so, if you ever been in a three-way relationship before, which most of you probably haven't, they get kind of messy. They're fun, they're fiery, and then they explode in your face. And that's exactly what happened with mine. We were traveling all over the country, having a great time. I mean, trips to Vegas, videos I can never post. I digress about the things that I've had done to me. But, you know, like all great things, it came to an end. But the way this thing came to an end was messy. I mean, she was hitting up all my homeboys. She was trying to sleep with them. She was hitting up my parents, my other girl's parents, telling all kinds of crazy stories. She was taking pictures off my Instagram, my Facebook, you know, posting them on her IG. She even made a whole Phresh Pharaoh exposed Instagram account. She made a whole Instagram account dedicated to bashing me. And all of that could be normal. But the crazy thing that she did was, like I said, I rented out mansions. So we rented out a mansion, and this girl decided to show up as one of the video girls for one of the rappers to the mansion party. Oh my God, I did have a stalker. Not even I thought I did. She followed us around. She even ended up in the room crying, talking about how she missed us and wanted to be back with us. And then at the same time, left and was angry and threw stuff around the room. I mean, I needed Secret Service. Y'all have to go see the TV show episode about it. I don't even think I can do it justice. But let me just cap it by saying this. You know, if you ever have the opportunity to date two girls at one time, don't do it. Do not do not do it. It's not worth the headache.